if terrorists attack the airport at Metropolis, a fictional western city in the U.S. To find out, watch In the Face of Terrorism Tuesday at 10.
Scholastic Scrimmage is provided by the Air Products Foundation. The foundation is supported by donations from Air Products and Chemicals Incorporated as a charitable organization whose contributions provide support for educational, cultural, health, and community programs in the Lehigh Valley. Funding is also provided by Lehigh Valley Bank. Lehigh Valley Bank provides student loan plans for undergraduates, graduate students, and parents of students, as well as a full line of regular banking services. Our name says it all. The series is also made possible by Channel 39 School Services participating districts.
WLVT-TV presents Scholastic Scrimmage, a weekly program featuring teams from Lehigh Valley High Schools in a contest of quick recall. Tonight's teams are from Allentown Central Catholic High School and Whitehall High School. Your host for Scholastic Scrimmage is Harry Price.
Good evening and welcome to Scholastic Scrimmage. We're going to meet the teams and the coaches, then we'll begin the contest. From Allentown Central Catholic High School, we have Karen Mayer, a senior. Sean Heffelfinger, a sophomore. Elizabeth Scrappitz is the captain. Elizabeth is a junior. Mabel Medina, a senior. The coach is Angela Solomon, teacher of German and French, German and Spanish. Mrs. Solomon teaches German and Spanish. Let's go over to Whitehall High School. Andy Green, a junior. Emily Sun, the captain, is also a junior. Chris Newhart, a senior. Ron Sierzega, a junior. The coach is Annette Hale, teacher of English. Channel 39 is pleased to announce that at the conclusion of the series next June, the Air Products Foundation will present a $1,500 scholarship award to the championship high school and a $700 scholarship award to the runner-up high school. Remember, the answers to the questions require rapid recall of factual information and are not necessarily indicative of academic training. The rules for the contest are as follows. On toss-up questions, you'll be given 10 points for each correct answer, and 10 points will be deducted for an incorrect response. If you answer incorrectly, then the opposing team will have an opportunity to answer without penalty, and they'll receive 5 points for a correct answer in this situation. Of course, each correct answer to a toss-up question gives you the opportunity to answer a bonus question without penalty. Team members may confer only on the bonus questions, and the answers to these questions should be given to me by the two team captains. A buzzer will signal the end of the contest. If it sounds while a question is being asked, the game stops. If the buzzer goes off while a team is answering, they will be permitted to complete their answer, but no bonus questions will be asked. Are there any questions? If not, we'll begin the contest with our first toss-up. And, of course, it's a 10-pointer, and we're looking at a 10-point bonus opportunity. Name the United States Secretary of State who was seriously wounded in an assassination attempt on the same night. Central, Mabel.
Brady.
Incorrect. Over to Whitehall. I have not completed reading it. Name the U.S. Secretary of State who was seriously wounded in an assassination attempt on the same night that President Lincoln was shot. The answer is William H. Seward. One of John Wilkes Booth's accomplices broke into Seward's house and wounded him. Another toss-up, going for a 10-pointer. In what country was Pearl Buck's novel, The Good Earth, set? Central, Elizabeth.
China.
China. She won the Pulitzer Prize for The Good Earth in 1932. You're correct. And Elizabeth, you give me the answers. Here's your bonus for Central. For 5 points each, name the authors of the following famous works of British literature. First one, The Pilgrim's Progress. Elizabeth.
John Bunyan.
Correct. The Life of Samuel Johnson.
No.
No response, Elizabeth? It would be James Boswell. We'll give you 5 points out of a possible 10. Toss up for both teams. The primary operating force in the chemical separation technique of electrophoresis is electricity. For 10 points, what's the motive force of sedimentation technique? I was looking for the motive force of sedimentation technique. It would be gravity. Another toss-up. It's in mathematics, going to be on the monitor. In simplest form, give a fraction equivalent to 0.45 repeating. No response. It's a quickie. It's 5 divided by 11. 5/11ths is equivalent to what you saw there on the monitor. Again, a toss-up, we're looking at a 15-point bonus. For 10 points, name the city that's the only state capital on the shores of the Chesapeake Bay. Whitehall, Andy.
Annapolis.
Correct. Maryland is the state. Annapolis is its capital. And here's your bonus, 15-pointer, Emily, for you and the team. Most of the shoreline, Emily, of the Red Sea is in the territory of 4 large countries. For 5 points each, name 3 of the 4 countries. Sorry, Emily, you just missed the buzzer. Again, I was looking for the 4 large countries bordering the Red Sea. It would be Egypt, Sudan, Ethiopia, Saudi Arabia. Yemen also touches the Red Sea. Going for a 10-point bonus. Here's your toss-up. I'll read the last 2 lines of Shakespeare's Sonnet 29, except for the last word. For 10 points, I want you to supply that last word. For thy sweet love remembered such wealth brings that then I scorn to change my state with blank. Key word here is brings, and to change my state with kings. Kings is the answer. Another toss-up, looking again at a 10-point bonus. In October 1985, Senators Barry Goldwater and Sam Nunn issued a staff study critical of the management and operations of the Department of Defense. Among the targets of criticism was the 5-member group that's the nation's top-ranking military body. Give me the name of that group. Again, the top-ranking military body would be the Joint Chiefs of Staff. Another toss-up, looking again at a 10-point bonus. You can earn 10 points for your team if you can give me the 9-letter name, starting with the letter P as in Paul, for a hoofed and thick-skinned animal, such as rhinoceros or an elephant. Central, Elizabeth.
Pachyderm.
Correct, Elizabeth. Your bonus, a 10-pointer, Elizabeth, for you and the Central team. It's a bonus question on plural forms. I'll name 2 singular nouns. For 5 points each, give me the plural forms. First one, elf, E-L-F. Elizabeth?
Elves.
Correct. Moose, M-O-O-S-E.
Mooses. Moose.
Elizabeth?
Moose.
Moose is correct. You have your 10 points. Again, looking at a 10-point bonus. Toss up. It's an art visual. Be on the monitor. For 10 points in front of the following is Delacroix's painting of a horse frightened by lightning, which you're seeing there on the monitor. Is it an example of Renaissance art, neoclassicism, romanticism, or impressionism? That is an example of romanticism. Going on again to another toss-up, looking at a 10-pointer. For 10 points, give me the name for the nearly colorless fluid in the human body, which is gathered through a set of vessels that are not involved in blood circulation, and which is then transported to the region of the left shoulder where it's emptied into a blood vein. Whitehall, Chris.
Lymph.
Lymph, or lymphatic fluid. You are correct. Here's your bonus, Emily, for you and the team. This bonus question concerns the planets of our solar system. I'm going to give clues that should help you identify 2 planets. You'll receive 5 points for each correct answer, of course. First one, this planet has 2 known moons, one of which is a little larger than the Earth's moon. Emily.
Mars.
Mars has 2 moons, but it's not correct. They're much smaller than ours. The correct answer is Neptune. This planet's equator is almost perpendicular to its orbit. Emily.
Venus.
No, it would be Uranus. Its axis of rotation lies almost in the plane of the ecliptic. Another toss-up, going for a 10-pointer. It's a mathematical toss-up question. I want you to listen carefully. From among 6 different projects, let me start that again. From among 6 different projects, a manager has to select her top 3 priorities and list them in order. For 10 points, how many different possibilities are there for her ordered list of 3? Whitehall, Emily.
9.
Incorrect. Over to Central. Karen.
120.
May I have that again?
20.
120 is correct. Is that a permutation? You're correct anyhow. It's 120. 10-point bonus. On the monitor, I want you to find, Elizabeth, I want you to find the center of the circle in the Cartesian plane whose equation is x squared plus 4x plus y squared minus 6y is equal to 16. The answer, I was looking just for the coordinates of the center. It's a -2 abscissa and 3 ordinate, -2, comma 3. We're going to take a halftime break now with the halftime score 30 for Allentown Central High School and 10 for Whitehall. Karen Mayer, we begin our halftime, or we have a halftime in the first round where our contestants share with us information about their families, and if you would begin, I'd appreciate it.
Okay. My father is a chemical engineer. He's employed at Air Products. My mother's a homemaker. I have a younger sister who is in high school and an older brother who's attending Carnegie Mellon.
Thank you, Karen. Sean Heffelfinger.
My father is a production leader at Mack Trucks. My mother is an elementary teacher at Our Lady of Hungary School in Northampton, where I have one brother in 8th grade.
Thank you, Sean. Elizabeth Scrappitz.
My father's an attorney, my mother's a homemaker, and I have 2 younger brothers, Matthew, who's a 6th grader at Lehigh Elementary, and Frank, who's an 8th grader at Moravian Academy.
Thanks, Elizabeth. Mabel Medina.
My father's a physician, my mother's a homemaker. I have an older brother and sister who are both attending colleges in Philadelphia.
Thank you, Mabel. Thanks to Allentown Central. Let's go over to Whitehall and begin with Andy Green.
My mother's a library aide at the Whitehall Copley Elementary Schools. My father's an assistant director of special education with IU20, and I have one sister who is a freshman at Rutgers University.
Thank you, Andy. Emily Sun, the captain.
My father's a supervisor at AT&T Bell Laboratories. My mother is a librarian at Easton Public Library. I have an older brother at the University of Pennsylvania and a younger brother in the 4th grade at Whitehall.
Thank you, Emily. Chris Newhard.
My father's a design engineer at Bethlehem Steel. My mom's a secretary at Sacred Heart Hospital, and my sister Jamie's a sophomore at Brown University.
Thanks, Chris. And finally, Ron Sirzega.
My father works in the engineering department at Alpo Pet Foods. My mother's a registered nurse, and my sister's a freshman at Seton Hill University.
Thanks, Ron. Thanks to Whitehall. Again, the score at half is 30 for Allentown Central Catholic High School and 10 for Whitehall. Very close contest. We're going to begin the second half with a toss-up. We're preparing for a 10-point bonus. This is a current events toss-up. Here you go. As the world knows by now, the American yacht Stars and Stripes is battling the Australian yacht Kookaburra 3 for the America's Cup. For 10 points, name the skipper of either yacht. Whitehall, Ron.
Dennis Conner.
Dennis Conner, we'll accept. He's the skipper of the Stars and Stripes. Ian Murray is the skipper of Kookaburra 3. Now, this is a bonus for Whitehall. It's a 10-pointer, again, current events. For 10 points, and from the following, what is a kookaburra? Is it a close relative to a kangaroo, a fish indigenous to Australian waters, a bird, or a port in Western Australia? Emily.
A bird.
It's a bird, which is native to Australia and New Zealand. You're correct. You got your 10? Again, we're going for a 10-point bonus. Here's your toss-up. In English, there are many pairs of homophones, 2 distinct words that are pronounced the same way. For 10 points, give me the common pronunciation of the homophones that mean 1, a soft mass of moistened flour, and 2, a female deer or rabbit. Central, Elizabeth.
Would that be dough?
You are correct. And there are 2 spellings, which I'm not asking you for. I just wanted the pronunciation. It's D-O-U-G-H and D-O-E. Bonus 10-pointer, Elizabeth. So on your literary vocabulary, I'm going to give definitions of 2 literary terms, both of which begin with the letter A. For 5 points each, I want you to identify these A words. Here's your first one. A tale in prose or verse in which the characters, settings, or actions represent abstract ideas or moral qualities. Elizabeth.
That would be an allegory.
Correct. A brief, pointed statement expressing some clever or profound observation about life. Elizabeth.
That would be an anagram.
Anagram will not accept. Aphorism, I would have accepted. Aphorism. Here's your toss-up. You got 5, Elizabeth, on your bonus. Your toss-up, again looking at a 10-point bonus. I want you to listen carefully again. It's a mathematical toss-up question. We've got a right circular cylinder with a base of radius 10 centimeters and a height of 10 centimeters. For 10 points, what's its total surface area in square centimeters? I'm sorry, there's no response. It would be 400 pi square centimeters. Another toss-up, looking at a 10-pointer. For 10 points, name the current president of the strife-torn Central American nation of El Salvador. Whitehall, Andy.
Duarte.
Correct. Jose Napoleon Duarte. He's been in office since June 1st, 1984. Your bonus, a 10-pointer, Emily. I want to see how well you know the U.S. Senate. I'll name 2 states, and you identify either one of the 2 senators who represent these states. You will earn 5 points for each correct response. Your first one, the state of South Carolina. Emily.
Bird.
Bird is incorrect. It would be Ernest Fritz Hollings or Strom Thurmond. The next state, Oregon. Emily.
No response.
Either Mark Hatfield or Bob Packwood. Another toss-up, looking at a 10-pointer. A tourniquet is a device for arresting bleeding. For 10 points, and no correcting yourself once you begin, I want you to spell the word tourniquet. Central, Elizabeth.
Tourniquet.
You're correct. 10-point bonus, Elizabeth. A man of genius makes no mistakes. His errors are volitional. The author of that quote wrote the novels Dubliners and portraits of a portrait of the artist as a young man. I want you to name this very famous Irishman. It would be James Joyce. Another toss-up. I want you to tell me by number which amendment to the U.S. Constitution gives Congress the power to levy income taxes. Whitehall, Emily.
24.
24 was given as the answer. It's incorrect. It's a rebound for Central. Karen.
16th.
16th it is. It was ratified 1913. You got 5 on the rebound, Elizabeth. And here's your bonus, 10-pointer. I want to see how well you know American cities by their nicknames. For 5 points each, name the large American cities that have the 2 following nicknames. The first one is the Windy City. Elizabeth.
Chicago.
Correct. Beantown. Elizabeth.
Would that be Boston?
That would be Boston. Boston baked beans or something like that. Here you go. You got your 10, going for a 10-pointer again. It's a listening toss-up. Listen to an excerpt from this familiar lullaby. Who wrote the lullaby you just heard? Whitehall, Emily.
Brahms.
Brahms is correct. Johannes Brahms, 19th century German composer. 10-point bonus. For you and the team, Emily. Name the great European orchestra with which Herbert von Karajan has been closely associated since 1954. No response from Whitehall. It would be the Berlin Philharmonic Orchestra. Again, Herbert von Karajan, who has been the conductor of that orchestra since 1955. Here's your toss-up. It's multiple choice. For 10 points, and from the following, does contumely, and let me spell that, contumely, C-O-N-T-U-M-E-L-Y, does it mean anger, insolence, hate, or flattery? The answer is insolence, contumely. Another toss-up, it's multiple choice. For a quick 10 points, is the carboxylic acid, C6H4COOH, taken twice. Is it monobasic, dibasic, or tribasic? It has two hydrogens in the carboxyl group available for salt formation. It is dibasic. Another toss-up. So on the monitor, mathematics. I want you to simplify this expression. That's 2 to the 1/2 power raised to the 3rd power raised to the 1/6 power, all raised to the -4 power. What you have to do is multiply all those exponents, and you come up with 2 to the -1 power, which is 1/2. Another toss-up. Identify the English author of the collections of children's verse called When We Were Very Young and Now We Are 6. Central, Elizabeth.
A.A. Milne.
Correct, the creator of Winnie the Pooh. Here's a bonus question, Elizabeth. It's on synonyms and antonyms. Consider the word boring, B-O-R-I-N-G. For 5 points, identify a 7-letter synonym for boring that starts with the letter T. Elizabeth.
Tedious.
Correct. An 11-letter antonym for boring that also starts with the letter T. No response from Elizabeth in Central. It would be titillating. Very tough to come up with and to count all those letters. Titillating. Going for a 10-pointer. Here's your toss-up. Give me the exact full 3-word name for the technologically ambitious American plan whose nickname is Star Wars. Central, Sean.
Strategic Defense Initiative.
Correct, Sean. Your bonus 10-pointer. It's a bonus question on current heads of government. For 5 points each, identify the countries which are presently led by the following individuals. The first one, Nicolae Ceausescu. Elizabeth.
No response.
Ceausescu has been head of government in Romania since 1967. Next one, Mohamed Zia, Z-I-A. Elizabeth?
Again, no response.
It would be Pakistan, and Zia has been its head of government since 1977. Going for a 10-pointer, toss-up. The mineral magnetite, which is a variety of which I should say is lodestone, contains iron. For 10 points, name the one other chemical element that's present in magnetite. Magnetite is Fe3O4, so the other is oxygen. Magnetite is an iron oxide. Toss up. Name the Swedish Prime Minister who was assassinated on a Stockholm sidewalk in February of 1986. Olof Palme, P-A-L-M-E. He'd been in office since 1982. Toss-up, going for a 10-point bonus. I'm looking again for a synonym. You'll earn 10 points if you can give me a 7-letter word starting with the letter M as in mother. That's a synonym for the verbs appease and calm. Whitehall, Emily.
Mollify.
Correct, mollify. Bonus, Emily, for you and the team. A palindrome reads the same backward and forward. The word bib, B-I-B, is a palindrome. I'm going to give you 5 points each for the palindromes that satisfy the following definitions. Your first one, mute, dumb, or speechless. Emily.
No response.
Mum, M-U-M. The next one, the sound of a horn, whistle, or wind instrument. Emily.
Toot.
Correct, T-O-O-T. You got 5 points. Toss-up, going again for a 10-pointer. A musketeer is a soldier with a musket. For 10 points, what's a muskellunge? M-U-S-K-E-L-L-U-N-G-E. It's a fish. It's really a large North American pike. Find up near Canada a great deal, and even in this area, I think, periodically. Going for a 10-pointer, toss-up. In 1912, New Mexico and Arizona entered the Union as the 47th and 48th states. For 10 points, who was the U.S. president at that time? William Howard Taft, the 27th president, served 1909 to 1913. Toss-up. Give me the eight-letter term that refers to a stout glove designed to protect a medieval warrior's hand from wounds. Central, Elizabeth.
Gauntlet.
Correct, Elizabeth. Bonus. 5 points apiece. I want you to answer these 2 Old Testament questions. First one. Who told his parents to get a Philistine woman to be his wife?
Samson.
Elizabeth.
Would that be Samson?
Correct. In Judges chapter 14. Who said, the Philistines be upon thee, Samson? Elizabeth?
Would that be Delilah?
Correct. Judges 16. You've got your 10. Toss up. He led the Nez Perce, or Nez Perce, Indian tribe on a 1,300-mile trek across Oregon, Idaho, and Montana in an attempt to reach safety in Canada. His warriors regularly defeated the much larger forces of the pursuing United States Army. For 10 points, name this courageous Indian chief who finally surrendered rather than see his people annihilated. There's no response. I'll give the answer to that. That was Chief Joseph, recorded in 1877. He's the one who said, I will fight no more forever. I think you've probably seen it on television if you haven't read about it. We're going to have a final score of 115 for Allentown Central, 55 for Whitehall. Whitehall, I think you got a lot of experience. Only Chris is going to go off to college. We'll have Andy, Emily, and Ron back with us hopefully next year. I think you got a lot of excellent experience out of this contest. Central, we congratulate you. We're going to see you back here again in the second round, early April, against Boyertown High School. Next week's contestants will be Liberty and William Allen High Schools. This is Harry Price. Thank you for being with us, and good night.
Funding for Scholastic Scrimmage is provided by the Air Products Foundation. The foundation is supported by donations from Air Products and Chemicals Incorporated as a charitable organization whose contributions provide support for educational, cultural, health, and community programs in the Lehigh Valley. Funding is also provided by Lehigh Valley Bank. Lehigh Valley Bank provides student loan plans for undergraduates, graduate students, and parents of students, as well as a full line of regular banking services. Our name says it all. The series is also made possible by Channel 39 School Services participating districts.